Day 10 of the Sean Combs USA trial. Let's call this penis haircut day because that's what people said he looked like. His new haircut makes him look like he has a penis for a head, which is appropriate. I mean, or a Tootsie Roll. Anyways, the attorney said that this might be 5 weeks instead of 6 more weeks. So that's exciting for the jury because I know you're listening. So maybe you'll get out sooner. You just all have to agree to life. Anyway, so Capricorn Clark took the stand and it was pretty shocking. I can't decide if I like her or if I don't like her. She's definitely like a cutthroat bitch, but she's good at her job. She also says she's good at her job because she elevates people like R. Kelly and Sean Combs. So I don't know. This industry is like something I've never seen before. Anyway, so yeah, she was Sean Combs's assistant for many years. And she had all these different roles and she was in and out. She would leave, she'd come back. She witnessed significant violence and abuse and would still come back for work. She kind of says it's because he turned the industry off her. Like people would not hire her. Like there was one meeting after she almost left where she went to, let's see, Interscope Records, where Jimmy Iovine, basically, like she thought it was an interview for a job, and then he basically told her no and stay away from Sean Combs, stop hurting him, or you're going to be harmed. So we've got a major person entering into this now, and it's getting bigger and bigger and thicker and thicker. Anyway, so she said that she was in charge of a bunch of diamonds, and it sounds like a lot for travel for Sean Combs, and it went missing. This bag of jewels went missing, kind of like the Kim K. So she was Sean Combs was out of town. She claims that she was subjected to 5 days of lie detection tests, which we call polygraphs. Again, not admissible in court because they're not reliable and they're not valid at all. So she would be able to go home each night after 9 hours of being subjected to these tests. The electrodes were hooked up. I mean, it sounds like Combs really trusted these tests and really didn't know science or understand any of the tests. And also sounds like the person giving the test was like the size of a monster, like 5 times bigger than Capricorn. And they made sure to mention it was in width. Oh my God, terrifying. So they basically would kidnap her and take her to this abandoned building, which I guess was going to be his business, but it hadn't been built out yet. And it was on the 6th floor. They would lock her in and they would question her over and over and over. And then they would basically threaten her and say that they were going to throw her in the East River if she didn't basically admit to taking the jewelry. But all the tests were inconclusive because she was so fucking terrified and anxious. How, your test is just going to be like this. Something that's already not valid and reliable is just going to be completely ridiculous. To think that they are in this kind of mob or gang where they they're going to use a lie detector test. It's just the whole scene. Did they think that they were running the world, that the world would never catch up to them? Oh, okay. So she worked for Suge Knight. I sent a message to him, let him know that he was brought up today. That's exciting, Suge. Add that to your podcast. So she worked for Suge, and, Diddy definitely knew this. Sean Combs took her to Central Park at night in the dark with his security, and he basically threatened to kill her if she ever talked to Suge. God, I don't know. What was she gonna do? I don't know. But that was the first threat. But hey, let's start our career together. I got you. So he said something like, I don't like all the back and forth. I like guns, when talking about 50 Cent. Now, as you know, 50 Cent's been very active on his socials and overusing Chat GPT. Now, 50, that's bad for the water. But he is basically saying ooh, I'm not scared of the diddler. Well, it sounds like at one point the diddler certainly intended to kill you, 50. So that's good. That's good. Now you can live your life and be a good person. Also, stylist Mike B was subjected to lie detection tests too. So it sounds like this was like kind of like his thing. Like maybe it was like another fetish, another voyeuristic, controlling, powerful fetish of Sean Combs, which I'm sure people taught him, maybe Clive. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys know this, but like my specialty was in high risk sex offending. And there's this thing called, I can never pronounce it right, but the penile plethysmograph or something. So you put a condom catheter on a man and you show him images and you see his penis get excited and you see the movement in it based on the images. Now that's what I think we need Sean Combs to do, because I think that if we show him images of adults, maybe let's use this, the Tootsie Roll, maybe a little. I think if we show him kids, and that's where this is leading, and we will be finding out more. I think he was losing stimulation from adults, and things had to get more and more dangerous, more and more volatile, disgusting, and full of fetishes. So she does say at one point that she was under an NDA, Capricorn, and because of that NDA, she couldn't call the police. Okay, NDAs don't supersede criminal activity, but whatever. I've never seen an NDA say, if you witness a crime, you're not allowed to say anything. Okay, but that was objected to, so that's some kind of secret that they don't want out. She explained her work hours. She started at $55K a year, sleeping 2 to 4 hours a night. I mean, that's pretty bad. She said that she developed stress-induced alopecia. She also seems like a very, very high-driven person who could endure a significant amount of stress, but was also held hostage, and there was a significant abuse of authority and grooming and just utter terror going on. So, girl, I just hope this girl gets therapy, because it is a mixed bag of what's happening. She name-dropped so many high-profile people that she has worked with, and I just want you all to remember, yeah, these people are really talented, but they're still people, and it doesn't mean that they're entirely that smart. And none of these artists, it doesn't mean that they're like really high IQ'd, intelligent people. They're good at their trade. So, don't turn them into gods, because they're certainly not that. So again, she got stress stuff, God, lots of stress. She mentioned Pharrell Williams was a guest once for Sean Combs, and she was in charge of bringing him back home or moving him around. Around that same time, she really wanted some turkey bacon. They didn't have turkey bacon, so that necessitated Sean Combs shoving her about 25 to 30 yards and like screaming at her and basically claiming to like ruin her life once again. So I think at that point she left, but then she came back for another job or another title or a promotion. And she was basically in charge of all of the celebrity lists for all the parties. So she's got all of the secrets. This one, she's got the secrets. Anyways, so she would go up, and she was often in charge of setting up these hotel rooms for the freak-offs. One of the aliases used was Jackie Star. That was often for Kim Porter. So it sounds like Kim Porter was staying in these rooms, but then eventually it started to be Cassie staying in these rooms. And so what it sounds like is that she would go in, she'd set up the cameras, the baby oil, lube, substances, and she then would also have to clean up. She'd clean up the disgustingness in this heat, jizz-covered room. I can't even imagine. Disgusting. She mentioned that he even had prescriptions written to her in her name, and she would have to carry him around for him. Again, medical licenses. Who are these prescriptions from? Now, some people know at least one clinic, but we'll see where that comes in. She mentioned one private jet where he had 100,000 euros when he was flying from Europe. That seems a little suspicious. But the big thing was that in 2011, she talked about the incident with Kid Cudi, and that Cassie texted that she wanted to basically go out and be in public with Kid Cudi. And Capricorn freaked out and was like, you can't text me on a bad boy phone. So Sean controlled everyone's lives. He controlled the phone, the cars, the houses. And so Capricorn was very aware that he could also be seeing these texts from Cassie to Capricorn. So she freaked out. She got her a burner phone. Great. He found out, of course, and then threatened to basically come off all of them. He threatened to come off everyone all the time. But I think this initial time, he just wanted to take out Kid Cudi. So they got in the car. He forced Capricorn to go in the car. He sat in the back of the car, which is odd for him because he usually sits in the front, because he's like such an amazing person. He deserves that front seat. Screw anyone with car sickness. So they go to try and off Kid Cudi, but I guess Capricorn calls Cassie on the burner phone, and then Cassie is made aware, and then, Kid Cudi jumps in his Porsche to try and intervene because they're like in his house, and it just sounds like chaos. There was discrepancy in the stories, and so the defense could use that as falsifying information or lack of memory issues. I don't know, but it still sounds like this went down. I just don't know what order it went down in. They kind of made it sound like she wanted to be a part of this when clearly she did not, and he had guns and was just going to off her or chuck her in the river. Anyways, so I think at one point he said, I'm just gonna end your life, Capricorn, if you don't bring Cassie back to me. And so obviously she got Cassie back. Cassie and her went back. They went to Sean Combs's rental, where again he was in his underwear and his robe. He doesn't really like to wear clothes. So we definitely have a lot of sexual predator, weird fetishes and power struggles here. I guess when you're a Tootsie Roll, maybe that's part of it. Oh, wow. It's so much. Why so much lube? Why? I wonder if he's really dehydrated now in prison because he was used to so much lubrication, even external moisture. Like, would he have to drink more water in prison? I don't know, because they're not going to give you like all the water you want because they wouldn't want you to get water drunk, which is a real thing that we'd always have to worry about, Maybe he's like drinking his hand sanitizer, but also we were always told just to give everyone one pump because they would drink that too. Anyway, so he just continued to threaten to kill everyone. And when Cassie got back that day, it does sound like one of the more brutal attacks where he was kicking her over and over 20 plus times. She was on the ground in the fetal position. And again, people witnessed this, including Capricorn, and no one did anything. At one point, Capricorn made a point to say that Diddy said, if you jump in, I'll fuck you up too. Now, she claims she's under oath. So I hope this is true. I hope maybe it looked like she wanted to stop it, but couldn't. He kicked her out. I mean, he's not that fucking strong. Did no one know jujitsu? Like, I don't understand this. So anyways, she leaves, and as she's like leaving the house and walking away, she like turns back and he's still kicking and pummeling Cassie. So she freaks out and says, because of the NDA, I couldn't call the police, but I called her mom. And it sounds like her mom called the police. A loophole in an NDA. This does not make any sense to me. What are these NDAs? Who are these lawyers that wrote them? Interesting that her lawyer, Capricorn's lawyer, is Brian Friedman, the soon-to-be disbarred lawyer who makes things up. Anyways, Brian Friedman is the lawyer to Justin Baldoni right now. So it sounds like he was going to like work out a deal after all of this, after these criminal suits had been filed, to bring Capricorn back and work for Sean Combs. Now, I don't know, Brian, were you just getting another paycheck there? You're just getting some money? Because it seems pretty clear that all they wanted to do was get information out of Capricorn to see how she would be in this trial, and that they never intended on actually hiring her back. So, did you know that? You really like money. You like money a lot. So somebody else was brought up about the kidnapping. She told someone named Herve Pierre, I'm not sure who that is, that this kidnapping had occurred. And he basically was like, oh, you're okay, little girl. It'll get taken care of. So she gets fired for taking a vacation with Rihanna, misusing her vacation time because that's what needs to happen. Anyway, so she's chilling with Rihanna, but then she loses her 401k, her benefits, her house, her car, and her entire life because they're owned by the company. No, this is not leading to racketeering at all. Anyway, so the arson police did reach out to her, but she hung up, didn't talk to them, about Cudi's car being exploding, being torched. Tomorrow, the LAPD and LAFD are going to testify. So I think we will be hearing a lot more about Cudi's car. And once again, the defense tried to say that there was no DNA of Sean Combs, that there was female DNA, but it's Kid Cudi. Of course, there's going to be female DNA in a celebrity's Porsche. So that'll be interesting tomorrow. I really want to hear that part. But again, a lot of threats of just Diddy wanting to off everyone. Oh, that reminds me of Prince. Now, there's fake information going around about Prince, that they played something written or some tape by Prince in the courtroom. That never happened. And nobody is talking about Prince. Now, I know that people are saying that Sean Combs allegedly unalived Prince, and who knows, maybe he did. But what I recall reading are articles that he had HIV and he wasn't treating it, and he thought God was going to heal him, and that he overdosed on fentanyl. So I'm not entirely sure how Sean Combs fits into the Prince things entirely, or we're just getting a little more conspiracy theory here. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fake AI going around with Prince. So my friends who are actually at the trial said no. Prince was never brought up like this. Okay, and she also, Capricorn also worked for Jay-Z. Just throwing that out there. Jay-Z, where are you in all this? Yeah. So yeah, she's really great. Anyways, she did say mean things about Cassie. She said she wasn't a Mariah Carey. She said she wasn't Whitney Houston. She said she was super good at her job. Wouldn't consider Cassie talented. I don't think we really needed to go there to really just kick someone when they're down. But, defense lawyers will do whatever they have to do. And then, it basically ended with them saying who else is going to come in. But a few quotes that really stuck with me. She called someone when she was really scared, Capricorn, and she said, "I'm scared of mountain lions." Choose the bear, right? She also said, when she was crying on the stand, "I felt that I was Puff's protector." That to me is very interesting. So there is that Stockholm syndrome that he does. That's where he can hold something over your head. He can manipulate his authority. He can abuse you in such a subtle, coercive way. Now, again, for RICO, we have to draw on coercion. We need coercion. These statements are coercive control. We just need to get it a little more tangible, which I think we are. And also, again, why didn't you leave? Why did you come back after you left? I wanted my life back, my dream, my competency. Monster. See you tomorrow.